Ryan Giggs has spent most of his life in the spotlight. He came to court to hear a prosecutor describe his football skills as abundant and a thing of beauty. But off the pitch, in his personal life, a character that was much uglier and more sinister. What they described as a toxic relationship with his girlfriend Kate Greville culminated in an argument at their home in November 2020. As she tried to end the relationship, the prosecution say he deliberately headbutted her and elbowed her sister in the jaw. Peter Wright QC said Mr. Giggs was obsessive, controlling and coercive. This was a private life that involved a litany of abuse, he said, both physical and psychological, of a woman he professed to love, a woman who in reality was, if the evidence is to be believed, treated in a way that cannot be excused or overlooked by either an adoring public or the law. This is a story of control and coercion of a woman who thought she was loved and respected. Sadly, the reality was very different. The prosecution said Kate Greville described various events over the years where Mr. Giggs would harass her, threatening to send photographs of a personal nature to friends and colleagues, throwing her out of their home. There were acts of violence and volatility, Mr. Wright said, followed by kindness and contrition, calculated to gaslight her into doubting herself and her instincts. Ryan Giggs is one of the most decorated players in football history. 13 Premier League titles in more than 20 years with Manchester United, and until November 2020, the manager of the Welsh national team. The trial was told it may hear from his former United manager, Sir Alex Ferguson. Before court ended for the day, the barrister for Mr. Giggs told the jury he and Kate Greville had squabbled like teenagers, but that he'd never used unlawful violence. The allegations, he said, were based on distortion, exaggeration and lies. Any contact between their heads, he said, was minor and accidental. Ryan Giggs denies the charges against him, and the trial continues. Greg Milam, Sky News, Manchester.